All right. Hello again. This is Ben Hitchcock Cross talking to you today. And we got some quite interesting information to report. Let's put it like that. Here's the headline. Dr. Jeremiah Holliday has been assigned by or reassigned by MPS to the principalship of the Maple Tree Elementary School. One more time, Dr. Holliday is no longer at central office. He will be reassigned to the principal of Green Tree Elementary. Now, as you understand, there's a lot of information that we have about Dr. Holliday. This is all from public sources here, um, and fantastic reporting. So, if you don't recall, let's be clear that Dr. Holliday is alleged by Dr. Keither to have participated in employment discrimination and the violation of her civil rights. Let's also be clear that Dr. Holliday denies this. Okay. Now, we also, it's clear from the complaint that Dr. Keither and others filed anonymous complaints against Jeremiah Holliday, and thereafter was, quote, reassigned, which is probably demoted, is a fair word, uh, from the chief position ultimately down to like an instructional leadership to a director position. So cabinet level position, I think that's like at least two hops down from at least manager, possibly senior director, or director. So that's a big step down. So let's go through the history of cases or the positions that Jeremiah Holiday's held. Let's look at the policy and procedures and to see where he's at. And I think we can do a little comparing and contrasting between Dr. Holliday's situation and Deb Keither's situation. So let's just start at the beginning. Um, Dr. Holliday started working for MPS, and he obtained his administrator's license. We know that. After that, he was the principal directly. I think he taught somewhere else in at least Mississippi, from what I understand from his bio. And then he started at Lowell Elementary. Okay. That I do not believe that he was there for more than 2 years, but I could be wrong about that. The next position that he held was the director of school support. This is basically in the Office of Academics, if I recall. Office of Academics, let's put it like this: the chief of academics is the principal of all principals. To get on what I'm saying, so that person leads all the principals of all the schools. Not necessarily, they don't deal with teachers, they deal with the principals. So the chief of academics directly oversees the principals. That's oversees the school buildings. Okay. Um, then instructional leadership director. Okay. Then there was a superintendent for instruction. It was like a sub superintendent role, and then promoted again to regional superintendent. Regional superintendent is a position that directly oversees the principals. And there are several regions for the principals, like this high school region, North region, whatever. So they're focused either on the high schools, all of them, or the elementary schools, middle schools, like that in different areas. So, but there will be one. I mean, in the sense that Milwaukee is geographically divided by race. The regional superintendents may be focused on some particular issues. Like, for example, the regional superintendent for the Northwest side is going to be focused on Black children, not necessarily Hispanic children. And many of their schools will be 98% African American. Okay. So, I mean, just a different set of challenges and a fact, something to consider. Then he went from the regional superintendent position to an instructional superintendent for curriculum and instruction. And it's at that point where he first came in contact, I believe, with Dr. Keith or with Dr. Garcia Hoven, with Angela Ford, um, and others in that department of curriculum and instruction. I understand also that soon after Dr. Holliday achieved the superintendency, that he recommended Dr. Holliday for the position of chief academic officer. Now, again, there were a number of complaints, including at least 14, 14 anonymous complaints that were sent to the school board, originally by Amy Mizrahi and then others, sent to this, at least the superintendent, um, by way of Calvin Furman, as I understand it. Again, these are all allegations from the complaint. The board, after receiving these complaints and other information from other investigations, the city attorney's investigation into Deb Bowling's claims, etc., then after discussions with the board, let's say Dr. Holliday uh, reassigned is the official word, but some might say demoted to institutional or leadership director. So again, you're going from a chief, which is a cabinet role, down, I believe it's chief manager or senior director, director. And then now principal of Green Tree Elementary, which there's a couple of things to say about Green Tree Elementary. And there's one is that I can't really think of a smaller school in my mind. Maybe we should take a look at it. Let's do that. Hold on. All right. So, and I've done this multiple times. It's not Green Tree, it's Maple Tree. And this is a K3 through fifth grade. Whoa. Let's just check out Lowell just for fun. All right. Let's get that address in there too. But I thought this was kind of interesting. Average is over, high expectations, student achievement, accountability, attendance every minute, every hour, every day. No exceptions, no excuses. I, wow, that's something else. Uh, Look at this. Maple Tree Elementary School is committed to the goal of working to ensure that every student is proficient or advanced in reading or writing across all content areas. Our school promotes an educational environment that aligns curriculum and instruction to the Common Core state standards. At Maple Tree Elementary, we educate all students for success in higher education, careers, and responsible citizenship. Our school offers early childhood program and grades K4 through 5th. All right. Now, I noticed this because this is something else I wanted to point out. It says the highlights is that it's a neighborhood school. Well, let's just look up that neighborhood real quick. All right, here we are, Maple Tree School. This area right here might not be the best neighborhood. Ooh, sorry. This neighborhood, it says the Royal Director Orleans Condo Association. And if we zoom in here, this area is what I'm talking about. Might not be the best of all Milwaukee has to offer. We'll leave it like that. Poke Guru trading cards. Interesting. Now, if we look here, we see this neighborhood directly across from Maple Tree Elementary School. This neighborhood, I know for a fact, contains some of the highest leadership of Milwaukee public schools. Like literally, you could go down any board meeting and say boom, 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 and a lot of it comes from back in the day before Scott Walker, which is geez now 10 years old, where Scott Walker took away the requirement for neighbor employees of the city of Milwaukee to live in the city of Milwaukee. So this is just barely in the city, right on the outskirts there. It's surrounded by fields and it's sort of a sanctuary, but there's a lot of city employees in here. And in my mind, I think that's quite. I don't think it's accidental. Let's put it like that. That he is now in the neighborhood school where the administrators go. So that's, I think, fascinating. Now, give me a second here. We're going to look at the rules for this. All right, we got the employee handbook, the updated one, 2025. Names updated, but still the 17th. All right, let's go to page 7 and look at classes of employees. Following employee groups of the district. Dr. Holliday is a B group, administrator and supervisor. And even as a principal, he's still an administrator or a supervisor. And as a, so he's not a teacher under contract, basically, doesn't fit any of these other things. So, and he's not no longer in the cabinet. So there we can say, hey, he's in B category. Okay. Here we go. Now let's go down to involuntary transfers. All right, so let's look at here. E, that applies to Group B, and so does F, applies to Group B. Licensure and certification. All employees who are subject to licensure or certification requirements, that's a principle, for the position in which they are employed shall possess and maintain a valid license or certification throughout their employment or such position. Okay, the Office of Human Resources will verify the possession of such license or certification at the time of hire renewal. Okay, well, so we're assuming that Dr. Holliday had the benefit of that. I think the allegation is that Dr. Keither did not. Now, position descriptions. Dr. Keither alleges that she didn't have a position description. Let's see if they're entitled to that. Oh, it's Group B. There is a position description. We can assume there is a position description for the Maple Tree Elementary. Position descriptions are available for review in the Office of Human Resources. Position descriptions will include job title, job duties, and minimum qualifications of the position. All right. Part 4, employment matters. Assignment. Employees may be assigned or reassigned to a position within their classification or certification at the district's discretion. So, a person with an administrator license working in the central office can be reassigned to the position of principal, according to this, because it's within their classification and certification. The district will consider employees' requests for assignments, reassignments, and seniority when making assignments. If an employee does not receive assignment or transfer based on seniority, he or she may request an explanation. Assignments shall not be made in an arbitrary, capricious, retaliatory, or discriminatory manner. Now, I don't know if Dr. Holliday is alleging that his placement or reassignment to the Maple Tree School is any arbitrary, capricious, retaliatory, or discriminatory. I don't know. I do know that Dr. Keither alleged that.